Hi, St. John Fishers, Father John with your Friday video. I'm speaking to you this week from the Martyrs Chapel at the back of Holy Trinity Church, a small space where we keep alive the memory of various men and women who gave their lives as martyrs for our Catholic faith, who were willing to give up their lives, to die rather than give up their faith. Many of the men and women we commemorate in this chapel are men and women from our own country. People like St. Ralph Sherwin, St. Luke Kirby, St. Margaret Clitheroe. Quite ordinary people, some priests, some ordinary men and women who over a period of centuries, as I say, decided when the church was being persecuted in this country that they would rather die than give up their faith. I've come into this chapel for today's video because today, Friday the 20th, is the feast of another group of martyrs, another group of people who gave up their lives for the faith, but this was all the way out in what is now South Korea. This is St. Andrew Kim Taegong and companions. It's amazing that the church in Korea is now one of the largest churches in the world. Church in South Korea, that is. It's still under persecution in the north, but in South Korea it's thriving. They can't build churches fast enough. They can't baptize babies fast enough, marry people fast enough, ordain priests fast enough. It's amazing to think that this great success now comes from such very ordinary beginnings, people discovering the Christian faith not really through priests coming and bringing it to them, but scholars picking up the Bible, picking up various Christian teaching books and finding the faith through study, and then later priest missionaries coming to minister to the believers in Korea. And I'm highlighting St. Andrew Kim Taegong today because of how much he achieved in such a very, very short time. He was the first native-born Korean to become a priest. He was ordained at the age of 25. He had studied out in what is now the modern-day city of Macau, and he made his way back to Korea to minister in secret because the church was deemed to be a threat to society, because you had a ruling class of very privileged people, and then you had a huge underclass of slaves, and Christianity teaching that all men and women are equal before God, and Jesus saying to his disciples, "I do not call you slaves, I call you friends, because I have made known to you everything I have learned from my Father." This was seen as a threat. This equality that Christianity brings was seen as a threat to the society at the time. Father Andrew, as he was, had only been working as a missionary in Korea for a couple of months before he was caught by the authorities, refused to give up his faith, didn't try and challenge the other religions going on, tried to point out that he was no threat to society. He was simply trying to minister to Christians and offer the Christian message. He wasn't trying to cast other faiths out of Korea, or cast anybody out of Korea. He was just trying to do what he believed God called him to do, and he was no threat at all. But this didn't fly with the authorities. He was publicly executed in a very, very gruesome way. And yet, in that short period of time that he was working as a Christian missionary, people began to think there may be something in this Christianity business, and the people who saw him die began to think, well, what was so wrong with the man? What was so bad about him? And what was so bad about what he taught us, that the church should be persecuted like this? Was this man really such a threat to society? And then, of course, the seed starts to get sown. This is why the church talks of the martyrs as being a source of growth for the faith. Because when people see people willing to go to their graves for what they believe, they begin to think this might be worth something. And so we never really know just how much can be done from how little we do. Did Andrew Kim Taegong know when he spent his few months as a missionary in Korea, just how huge the church would be 200 years later as a result of his initial efforts. You never know, with the little that you do, how much impact you can have. So, with such words of hope ringing in the background, with such thoughts of hope, let's finish off this video by praying that act of hope that I introduced you to last week. O my God, relying upon your infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain pardon of my sins, the help of your grace and everlasting life, through the merits of Jesus Christ, my Lord and Redeemer. God bless everyone. See you at Mass on Sunday. Bye-bye.